Hello friends and welcome. I am so glad that we are back to visit together. I think it has been 2 weeks since my last update, but I am Lisa and you are at my channel Cross by Floss, where I chat about my love of cross stitching and life blabbings. And yeah, so welcome if you are new, and I hope you like what you see and would like to subscribe and do all the things, hit the bell, you know, all the things that we always say. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I am so glad that you're here. Today is February 15th, because yesterday was the 14th, which was Valentine's Day, and I have a baby born on Valentine's Day who is now 31, so not such a baby, but anyways, so Valentine's Day is always a special day because I had a baby born that day. Yeah, so, and Mr. G was so sweet. He forgot that it was Valentine's Day. The man does not honestly celebrate much. It is because of me that he celebrates. I think in his past life, holidays were not super important. And so when I said Happy Valentine's Day yesterday, he was like, it is? Oh no. And then when I got home after taking my son to the doctor yesterday, there was a beautiful, beautiful bouquet of roses that were delivered. And he's so sweet. So unfortunately, I only get to enjoy them for a day. And then I am on my way to out of the state and back to see my little, who is off school for a week. And so Grams is doing some babysitting duty and Mr. G is joining me because he's got a new trucking job, and it's going to be in the state that we live in now, which means that every 5 days he gets to come home. And instead of being on the road anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, and then maybe see him for a few days, or sometimes if we're lucky a week. So anyways, that's pretty exciting, but it does mean some changes and all the things. Okay, and you notice that we are in a different view of my craft room, and as you can see, still in a mess because I have not done anything. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not done anything because I am, total secret, total confession, I am a closet organizer junkie. Like, if you need a closet organized and like redone, me. My cupboards, my closets, completely organized. The rest of my life, not so much. But in this house that we bought, it's an older home, and so they don't have closet organizers in there or anything. And so I am in the process of like changing closet by closet into an organized organizer and doing that. Well, we discovered that we do indeed have plaster walls. The inspector said we had plaster walls. The realtor said we did not. And we kind of have a mix. So upstairs we have plaster walls, but downstairs, which would have been like cement walls back in the day, they waterproof them and put drywall over. So we do have drywall walls, but we also have plaster walls and plaster ceilings. So anything that happens, long story short, my hall closet, I had to plaster the ceiling because parts of it were falling down. And I'm not a plaster. And in fact, my youngest son said to me, don't quit your day job, which I'm very certain means, Mom, I just gave you permission. Not that I need his permission, but I just told you that you should cross stitch more because I feel like cross stitching is my job. So I'm pretty sure I was given permission to do that. Anywho, my closet is still not done, and it's not getting done before I leave because, yeah, the plaster of Paris dries real quick, and especially when you don't like mix it to the directions. I had to make a trip back to Lowe's. It was hilarious. I was covered head to toe in plaster because it was on the ceiling, and when you have to do things above your head, right? So then my daughter was like, and so it was patchy. Anyway, So then my daughter was like, well, Mom, why don't you wet it, you know, and then smooth it out? And I'm like, okay, that's kind of smart. I'll do that, right? You know what it's like to have like wet sponges and things above your head? Again, things were happening. When I come home, Mr. G will be with me. I've got it to a point that it looks great. It's fine. When I paint the ceiling, you probably won't even be able to tell. The sidewalls, no problem with. Ceiling, problem. And so anyways, but I've got it so that it's not falling down anymore, and it's at least covered. And I mean, I wrecked a sander. It's been an ordeal. Now I'm like, I'm afraid because I've got bedroom closets to do. I'm afraid. So anyways, that's what's been going on here, and now getting ready to pack up and get going to see the little. So I am here basically to talk about cross stitch. How about I do that? And today, you know what? I'm totally going out of order. You know, normally we do finishes, FOs, whips, the things. Okay, I am not organized enough to do that today. And I have big piles in front of me. And last video, which was kind of long, I decided not to do a haul, like a haul portion at all. But I do have a haul. I do have some haul, and I did pull out some of my haul. And so I'm going to do that first. So if you're not interested in haul, that's okay. My haul has come from Fabric of the Month clubs, Bag of the Month club. I bought a couple of things off of Etsy, mostly thrifty though. Like I found some cross stitch stuff, thrifting. It was awesome. So I'm going to show you some of that. And then, oh, and there were some eBay purchases as well. So if you are interested, I hope you are, and you'll stay for that. And if not, I will show my cross stitch at the end, and hopefully this does not mess everybody up. But I have my haul piles in front of me, and they're like the closest, and frankly, they may fall. So, okay, so there, the little town that I live in has a phenomenal amount of antique stores and thrifty stores. And so when I go out, which is not daily, but when I go out, I do a loop. There's a loop that I do, and the boys are like, seriously, because if they have to come with me, they know they have to do the loop. And so, yeah. Now, they have weird hours for some of these, like stores, like they might not be open Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but they're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or they're open Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, or like they have really weird hours. So I just, you know, anyway. But one of the thrift stores that I went to, I'm looking around and I'm about to leave. And in one of the little booths, there was like a sign that said cross stitch books, 5 for $1. And I'm like, okay, let's go see what they have, right? So it picked up a stack. I got 15 books, $3, right? But I was like, okay. So I got Home Sweet Home. I'm sorry, glare. Home Sweet Home that has like a ton of patterns in it. Does it say 25 beautiful cross stitch patterns for every room in your home? So I got that. It was $1. No, it was part of 5 for $1. So what's that? 20 cents a piece? Okay. And then I got a bunch of Just Cross Stitch. What is this one? February 1988. You know that there's some good samplers in there, right? And then this one is February 1985, Just Cross Stitch. What do they say on it? 25 cents. I got it for 20. For the Love of Cross Stitch. September 88. The Cross Stitch Monthly. 89. That one. Oh no, this is Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. This is April 1992. That's when one of my sons were born. It's 31 years old. Country Stitch. What is this one? July 89. And I wasn't even married then. I think I was still in high school. We're not going to talk about that. This is cross country stitching, February 98. Seriously, I got all of these for like $5 for $1. Kingsland Morning Star. Fancy That Country Collection. This is Wreath for All Seasons. And I like this one because there's some like littles, right? So I was like, okay, well, this Valentine's one here, February here, that's really cute. The July one's really cute. There's a sampler house, like there's a house. I'm sorry, saltbox house. And like, look at the Santa and the turkey. I mean, there's some really cute ones on there. So I was like, yeah. Leisure Arts Old Samplers pamphlet. Man, I tell you. Life Pleasure. This came from the Needlework Shop in Raleigh, North Carolina. Got that one. This is from Just Cross Stitch, I guess. I got Theron Traditions Antique ABCs. I like this one. Cute as that. I got a Cricket collection. The Winter is Past. And then finally a Kingsland exemplar. Does this have specialty stitches in it? It sure does. It's got Algerian eyelets, satin stitches, and back stitch, which I think is funny when they call that a satin stitch. I mean a specialty stitch. I wonder, can you do Algerian eyelets and stitch satin stitches on LaDDa? I don't know. These may all be in some giveaways in a later time. Some of them. Okay, let me put those down there so that there's not falling. Then a few days later, I went back, you know, to see, because maybe they were like all excited. Somebody bought some of these cross stitch books and they had more, right? And they were like, well, let's put more out. So I was like, oh, let me go back and see. Okay, same, I'm assuming same booth, I don't know, or same seller. They'd moved stuff around. And within that couple of days that I was there, and then I found these cross stitch kits. You guys. Okay, so this is it Thea Governor or Thea Governor? I don't know. Anyways, I found this. It's a whole kit. $2.50. $2.50. I was not leaving that. And then a Dimensions kit. Cardinals, also $2.50. Whole kit. Yep. Whole kit. And then not that I am ever doing a stocking in my life, because no, but I thought maybe for a giveaway at a later time. I found this Renaissance stocking from Dimensions. Again, $2.50. I was not leaving these things. I bought everything that they have. If there was a kit, I bought it, and there were 3. So that was all from the same little store that I went to. Okay, let me pull this pattern, sorry. I mean, pile. Okay, how about I do my fabrics of the month? So, I belong to two fabric of the month clubs. One is Grace Notes Fabrics, and this one was, I'm so behind. I have other months, but I just pulled out what I could find. What was accessible, easy? Easily accessible. Words are hard. Anyways, this is Lady Gray. Yes, Lady Gray. I get 18 count from Grace Notes Fabrics. I love Grace Notes Fabrics. They are so pretty. And what I really like about them is that they always add like a little something. Sometimes there's stickers. Sometimes there's, you know, I think most of the time it's stickers. Sorry for the noise. I'm so sorry. And then I think that's the January one. That might be the January fabric. I think. I'm not sure. Because again, I'm so behind. I don't even know. I do know that this is the Christmas one. This came for December, and this one is called Raspberry Latte. Is that not pretty? I'm not really a pink girl, but I have a Mira that is going to look spectacular on this, and so I am all over this one. Again, 18 count, and then at Christmas they gave you a card a really nice little Christmas card, and inside was the sticker, but then they also added a needle minder, and who doesn't need more needle minders? And this is a nice one, so that was really super awesome. Then I belong to Brandy at Brandy BestitchMe Fabrics, and I have been part of Brandy's club for like legitimately years, and have a lot. I started out with her 16, went to 18, now I'm in her 20 club, and I think this might be a newer one. This might be December, this might be January. I don't know. It's called Hot Cocoa. I'm thinking December, right? So that is an awesome sampler one. So pretty. Nice. All right, and then I belong to Garon Tottenbags, which honestly, okay, after my birthday, yes, after my birthday, I'm gonna cancel. I was thinking that maybe I would go to the bigger bag size, because that's what I started with, was the really large one, and then I went to this size because he's got 2 sizes, and I love his bags, but this is the latest one. This one was out for February, and it's beautiful. And then the inside, look at how colorful that is. So yeah, I love Ronnie's bags. The workmanship, beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. Then I was watching someone, I really apologize because I really honestly don't remember who, but I was watching somebody online, Flosstube. I have Facetube face, I have, no, Flosstube face, I can't keep things straight. I can't keep, it's fine. And I've only, where is my coffee? I don't know where I put my coffee. As you can see, very disorganized. My closets aren't though. Oh man. Anyway, okay, well, they won't be. Currently they are, but they won't be. Anyways, I was watching somebody on Flosstube, and they were showing a really awesome bag from a seller on Etsy, and I was like, I must have that bag. So I go on Etsy, and there aren't any. So I'm like, fine. But she had other beautiful bags, so I was like, all right, well, I'll try, see. So the first one I chose was this beauty, which is Blackbird Designs Fabrics. Absolutely gorgeous. Comes with a cute little fob zipper pull. And then the inside fabric, I think it's all Blackbird Designs. Beautiful. And then I also chose, so I wanted to see like each quality bag, right? So I picked a fabric bag, and then I picked the see-through clear front bag. And of course, everybody knows my love of Halloween. If you have been following me for any time, if you're new, I love Halloween. And so I absolutely loved the fabric on this one. And she wrote a thank you note, which, when sellers do that, that is above service, like really above and beyond. I will continue coming back for those reasons, right? And then she also included a needle minder that matches the bag. Okay, so you can see it's the 805 stitcher. Yes, the 805 stitcher. And here is her information. If you take a screenshot of that, oh, maybe we could, anyways, I'll link her info down below as well. But really nice needle minder to go with the bag. I highly recommend. Then, did I put in a notify me if that fabric came back, or maybe I got a notification on Instagram? I don't know, because I'm not on social media all that often anymore during the day. I just haven't had time. And the bag with the fabric that I saw in somebody's video came back, and I was like, I need that. So I went and bought it. Is this not the best fabric ever? Look at this. I love it. I love it. And it came with a cute scissors zipper pull and the inside fabric, tomatoes, and are they poppies? No, it's, oh my goodness, it's needles and pins. What a dork. They're all just tomatoes. And then I'd have to go back, but I think she added this little what do you call them? Pals, thread beds. I don't know what she calls them, but that came. Let's turn it upside right with a help me out. A needle, yes, needle, because there's a magnet here. And how sweet is that? Yeah, in the same fabric. I just love this. I love this. So, and a really nice card. And beautiful workmanship. Like if you were looking for a beautiful bag, these are very, very nicely done. Again, I don't need any bags any more than I need a hole in the head, but when I saw them on somebody's Flosstube, I was like, I'm gonna need to go get those. Then I did an order on 123 Stitch because I needed some floss, and Keepsakes is just too far away from me. And but you know, when I need to do, like when I go on out there, obviously I will be spending some hours in Keepsakes, but it is a few hour drive from me, and I'm gonna say like 2.5 maybe. And so, you know, that's a 5-hour drive in a day. And so if I'm going to do that, I'm going to make a whole big day of it. I might even make like an overnight of it. We'll see, we'll see. But it's just too far away. And so, and I'm not near my LNS, which is Threadneedle Street, which will always be my LNS forever and ever and ever. So when I go see the little, I always go there, or I try to go there when I have time. Yeah. Try to make the trip because her hours are early, close early, you know, and so sometimes I'm just not able to get out there during her open hours. Anyway, I did an order on 123 Stitch because I needed some beads and I needed some floss. And while I was on there, remember when I did Nora November and I did the Gothic house, and I was like, oh, I really need to get like the clock house and some other stuff, and I was like, I need to get those, right? So I did. Oh, I didn't get the clock house. I got the coffee house, which is also still fine. I should go look at that. I thought I got the clock house. Maybe I got the clock house in another order. I don't know. I don't know. You guys, I am not organized. Anyways, Nora Corbett, another house. We might see that for Nora November. We'll see. And then Mr. Darby's house. Love that. So those are the 2 new houses that I got. And then I'm continuing to add to my collection of Pixies, the Pixie Seasons. And so I got Fairy Autumn Glow. It's beautiful. Got Fairy Summer Love. Oh, I love this one. So pretty. And then Fairy Winter Dream. So now I think I have all of the seasons. I'm fairly certain that I have spring. I must have spring in my collection already. So, so I just added the rest of them, and we'll see what comes out for November. I'm trying to put the picture back in the, oh, for goodness sakes, I'll do it later. Okay, and then there was a very ugly eBay. And this is only a portion of what I got on eBay because, like I said, there was some ugliness. I have decided because, you know, oh, I'll talk about that later. Wow, the chipmunks are really out in full force in my garden. Maybe come spring, like really, this little chipmunk, he is very busy. Come spring, I will have to show you how my garden's popping up. There are some daffodils or something that are popping up on oh my gosh, and I guess there's a lot of them. The lady who owned the house before us had a beautiful garden, and it looks like some beautiful things are going to be popping up. Okay, so the first one I saw was this Dimensions kit, and I have some smaller Dimensions kits. I never bought any of like the gold collection kits. I mean, maybe I have one in my stash, maybe. I don't even know if I do. But I was always daunted, even though they're on LaDDa, I was always daunted by how many fractionals and backstitching that there is. I have no problem with either one, but when a pattern chart is just filled with them, yes, it makes the pattern and it's beautiful, but holy good night nurse. So anyways, when this came up, I think I paid $12 for it, maybe $8. It was not that much money. And so I was like, okay. The other thing that I've always disliked about Dimensions kits is when, was it Dimensions or maybe Mill Hill? I might be getting them confused. I know for sure Mill Hill does this, that they just put like all the colors of the floss together so you have no idea what is what. And so I never use the floss out of those kits. I always go to my stuff and use it for the colors, because they do put the colors in, or the numbers of the floss, because they use DMC. But I don't know if Dimensions has always done this, but now they are putting them on floss cards with the numbers and stuff, and that makes it so much easier to use. So I don't mind that. So that was one seller. Then another seller, it was like he was selling like a group of like 16, 18, 20, I don't know how many patterns all together for one price. And I was like, okay, there's some interesting ones in there. So I'm going to go through them kind of quickly. I got this Kohl's Garden Annual for Pella, Iowa, which I thought was really, this is, who is this? Stony Knob Farms. So it's the seed catalog cover. I love these kinds of things. And I have a 3 Seasons porch now, and I thought, well, it would be kind of cool to add, some bird and flower pictures out there, because that's what we see outside that 3 Season porch. Then in the same, this is all one big batch. Country Samplings. Is there a year on this? I don't think so. No, just a magazine. Chowning's Tavern, Williamsburg, Virginia. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna swipe that. There we go. Oh, Mr. G is very busy texting. Sorry about that. Okay, that one. Rosewood Manor, As Ye Sow. Thought that was really pretty. So that was in there. A Scarlet Quince, Dignity and Impudence, Sir Edward Landseer. And I love me some doggies. As you can hear, Mr. Odin, who is snoring down here. It's better than seizing. I'd rather hear the snoring. I've never heard of these things either. This is Stuck Collection, Columbus Museum of Art, Village by the Sea. Pretty. This came from the Cross Stitch Place for $6. I don't know when. This is Orenco Originals, and it's called French artist Maxime Maffrau. Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna butcher that. So there you go. You can read that one yourself. Not that I love that one or anything, but that may go in a giveaway at some point. Queenstown Samplers Designs, Martha Petite, 1804. How pretty is this? These are really pretty. This says any level sampler enthusiast should enjoy finishing this sampler. Yes, they would if it is all 2/1 on Ada. Pat Rogers Counted Collection White Lace Sampler. Again, some of these things I will never do just because, you know, they're not my thing, but they were in the whole group of stuff, and there were a few that I really wanted, and so, yeah. Oh, sorry, what was this one? This is a photocopy, so I'm pretty sure that that's not legal. I'm not going to show that. Virtue Sampler, Hillside Samplings. Pretty. This is Renoirs on the Terrace. Okay, let's be honest. Are they not kind of creepy? A little bit? Like really pale white faces with really colorful... now. This is the Vintage Collection Antique Button Sampler from Sue Hillis Designs. Also very pretty. Sue Hillis has been doing this for a long time. When was this one? Does it say? There is, oh yeah, no, 1995. This is the pomegranate sampler from the Needles Praise. So pretty. And then this is Timeless Designs Reading the News. See, normal color faces. So that was in one batch, I think. Then the second batch, does this make sense? Maybe? I don't know. I bought quite a bit from the same seller. Another one is Needleprint, Martha Brady's Aquar Sampler and Personal History Record. How pretty is that? And I think I looked in this one because I was like, oh, I so want to do this. It is a big, like, look at this. It is a four hoodoo thingy, right? And then the whole thing, this whole thing on the other side is the pattern. And I think I looked at this to see if there was any 1/1. And I don't think there is. It says it's worked in cross stitch 1 strand over 2. So I think I might be okay. No. The name is all 1/1. That's okay. I'm gonna work that out because I like that one. Rebecca Walker, 1850 from R&R Reproductions. So sorry, try not to get a glare there. That was also really pretty. And then Exemplars Dame's Design. This is Stella Jones, 1811. Not bad. Pretty. And then I couldn't help myself. These guys were so cute. So cute. So this is a Luca S. What was this called? It was super cute. Whatever it was called, does not say. Shoot, it was very cute anyways, the chart name. And but it's done in anchor floss, and it's all lovely carded and everything. I love that. And it's on Ada. It's on 18 count Ada. Yeah, but it's full. What did they call that? You know, the Hayes. What are those called? Full coverage. It's a full coverage chart. So that is the end of my haul. Oh my gosh, like 30 minutes worth of haul. That's gross. And that's not even all of it, you guys. I'm just showing you a small portion of what I got, just because it was sitting over here and I was like, oh, maybe I'll show that. So, okay, how about what I stitched the last 2 weeks, which honestly was not a whole lot. Well, like I said, I was doing some closets, and then we found a little bit of water damage in my son's closet downstairs, which I had to fix. And so I've been doing more home things while I've still been doing stitching with a friend during the week, and then my Queen of Peace and Mirror Monday. So really doing those things. And then of course Super Bowl Sunday happened. Such a good game. And so, you know, I had a lot there. Did you guys watch? Okay, even if you're not interested in football in any way, shape, or form, the commercials, they were fantastic. I loved every single minute of it. So that was fun. What I do want to show you though is, so this was a previous FFO. No, FO. I've not actually fully finished it. But I showed you last video that I've been doing the postcard series from Wendy from the Heart Needle Art, and I showed you that I had finished January and almost finished February. Still had to do the back stitching, which I still have not done. But I had talked about like wanting to antique it a little more because this area here you don't see very well. Now I wanted my this is on perforated paper, so I wanted my perforated paper to look very vintage aged, like it had gone through the post office, that people lovingly, like, you know, handled it. I wanted it to look like it got like shoved in a box and then, you know, maybe crumpled a little, but it had been loved and, you know, just, yeah. So I found a technique that was working for me on how to make the perforated paper look, you know, crumply and whatever, right? And no, I did not just take it and crumple it, because when you do that, the perforated paper, there's several layers to it. Well, there's a couple of layers, and it will break down, right? And so I did not crumple it. I did something different. And then I did walnut crystal spray over it to make it look vintagey. And I think I was going to go back and take like either a paintbrush or cotton ball and use the walnut crystals and kind of darken up like all of these ridges, right? But then I heard about this antique spray, instant antique, right? So I bought this from 123 Stitch 2. This was part of my haul that I bought the Nora charts and some floss and stuff. So I bought the instant antiquing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. This is going to rock everything, right? Okay, so this is the back of the thing, but you can see that the perforated paper, the dye came through, but it's white. Normally it's white. And then I antiqued it, right? Man, this is becoming a longer explanation than I thought. So I was like, okay, well, I want to darken up like this area here and maybe make this, because it kind of blends in a little bit. This looks awesome, but these blended into my color of how I made my walnut dye and walnut crystals. And so it was like, okay, well, let's try the antiquing spray. It didn't do anything. And I think mainly because, or if it did, it is so minute. And I like sprayed it, let it dry, sprayed it again, because I really, again, this area here really fades in, which actually is okay because it's a vintage postcard, right? So anyway, I think for future ones, so I did 3 in this technique for January, February, March. For April, I think I'm just going to do the aging of the paper that I did without coloring it. I'm going to stitch it all up, and then I'm going to use this antiquing spray, because what it did do when I sprayed it on this, you could see the color go on and the dots, you know, like, you know, when you do a spray and it just like makes some splashes. I want that look. But because I think that I had done so much already antiquing of my paper, it did not do anything. If it did anything, it settled on this, on the floss, and maybe made that a little bit more aged. That's all it did. It didn't do anything to my paper at all. So I think that the next time when I get to April, I'm just going to do what I do to make it look crunchy, and see how that works, because I think that this product is fantastical. I was a little freaked out at first when I was using it, but I was like, you know what? At the very least, all it's gonna do is like darken things up, right? That's okay. Like, that's okay. It is awesome stuff. You shake it up before you use it, you know, it is fantastic. And you want those little dots that happen, the splash, but it will dry lighter, right? It's like getting your hair dyed, right? You look at it and you're like, ooh, and then, you know, as it dries, it gets lighter. It's fine. So that's what this does. So you might have to spray it a couple of times to get what you're achieving, but highly recommend, because if you don't have dyes and you don't, you know, want to fool around with either Rit dye or get Tim Holtz, his inks to vintage up your perforated paper, this will probably do awesome. You can also use it on your Aida or linen or whatever, which I am going to do for a couple of future projects, because I'm a little overwhelmed with what I got going on right now. Okay, let me show you some other cross stitching that I did. So for Sampler Sunday, which also is lovingly known as Super Bowl Sunday here last week, I pulled out Marie Agenon 1888 from RolandDesigns.com. And this is a chart, it's a PDF. And when I went on their website the other day, because I made a boo-boo. I made a boo-boo because, you know, you have to look at your charts, okay? Actually looking at the charts and making sure that you know what you're doing, because, okay, so along here, right, this is a pattern. It's a pattern. It goes the same. This is a pattern. The numbers, everything, right? Like it goes, should be able to mindlessly just stitch. And because you've got the pattern in your head. What happened on this side, halfway down here, instead of 2 2, okay, it was 1 2 2, and then like 5 3 5, whatever the pattern was, right? 7 down on these little guys here on the 8th one, it completely changed. It went from 1 2 2 3 to 1 3 3 5 7. I don't know. It went weird. And I did not catch it until I was down almost to the bottom. And almost the last one, I'm counting them, and I should have 13 on each side, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, why are these not spaced properly? Like, what is happening? So I had to go fix it. Anyway, I did. I'm over it now. It's fine. But yeah, that happened. Okay, I have a thread, so you're just gonna have to bear with me just a second here. Pull it on over here. So I had to go on, let me go back to my story. I had to go online to, like, I was like, okay, maybe my chart's wrong, you know? So I went online to look at the picture, blow it up and see, and I'm like, oh, indeedy-do, it really is that. But in the meantime, I saw that there was another Marie Agenon but it was 1898 or maybe 91. I don't know. So I got confused because I'm like, oh no, what happened to the other one? Still there. All right. I am doing this on a piece of 20 count. I think it's 20 count. Might be 18. I don't remember because it's just a piece that I had in my stash that I dyed. I writ and coffee or tea dyed this. I don't remember. Anyways, I did not mix my crystals good enough, and this is what happens when you do not mix your crystals good enough and then dunk your fabric. But thankfully it's way down here in the border, and so I don't care, or you know, the edge, whatever. I think that there's a couple more. See over here, all these splotches. This is what happens when you do not mix those crystals up really well. A dyer I am not. Anyways, from the last time I had this out, which admittedly has been a really long time. This used to be my car project, and then I switched it to Live, Laugh, Love by LaDDa, and then I came back to this, and then for Sampler Sunday, I was like, I'll just pull this out. So I finished this whole, like from here down, finished all of this, and then I started on a nice big motif flower over here. Got a little tired of the alphabet. There's a lot. The next alphabets that happen are very ornate. And so anyways, that is what I've gotten done on this. And I'm going to take this with me because honestly, even though it might be 18 count, which, you know, when I dyed it and everything, it's almost like a 20, maybe a 19, I don't know. But it's actually really easy to see. I am also doing this in a sulky thread, red. And this is number 1147, if you're at all interested. It is a really pretty red, really pretty. And this is really nice because it's, you know, you just use it as one strand. And its coverage is beautiful, like, let's turn it upside down. Like the color is, I mean, the coverage is really, really nice, and the color is beautiful. So that is one thing that I got done, and I will be taking this with me because, like I said, it's something that I think that I can do in the hotel room while I'm there, and yeah. Okay, the other thing that I have done in the last 2 weeks is Mira Monday, and I am working on Fairy Flora. I love her. I legitimately love her. She's super big though. Like, she's long. She's really long. What's her stitch count? She is 126 by 320. She's a good long girl. So I have her on this piece of fabric, which is, let's see if I know what it is. It is Touch of Gray. That's got to be a Witch Old. Touch of Gray, maybe. 16 count. And I am using, obviously, the called for. And that is what I've gotten done so far. So I did some more of the vines, and I'm heading into the big cabbage flower that is in, I think it's a cabbage flower. I don't know. I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form on flowers. So, and then I did like some more of the purples, got some more dark sand. So I've been really working quite a bit in her. There's so much to go. She's gonna take me forever. And it's weird too because she really does have like lots of beautiful blocks of color, and which is what I like a lot about a lot of the Mirabilia patterns. Not every single one of them are like this though. Like, I do know that there are some that are not great blocks of color. This one happens to be at least where I am, and so it's an easy stitch, but I don't get that much time to work on her during Mondays. because Mondays are fairly busy, which is weird because according to my children, I'm retired and my job is stitching. So my day job. But we've been gone so much and catching up in things in the house. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. But I do want to get back to her and really get going on her. The next thing that I've been working on is Margret Cottam, age 9. And this is a LaDDa sampler that was done in 3 parts. And part 1 is on its way. I promise, it's on its way. I'm actually either going to get it out today or tomorrow when I leave. But it is on its way to a friend. So I am working on part 2 right now, and sorry for the thread. And this is kind of like my morning coffee stitching, and I, you know, I might have 1 or 2 like cups of flavored water, and listen to Odin snore, and get a little bit of stitching in. And it is amazing what happens. I know that people talk about 25/7, which I think is a great idea, that, you know, the premise is that you work on a piece, you have a focus piece that you work on 7 days a week, and how you choose to do your 25 is up to you, whether it's 25 stitches or 25 minutes, or you want to go longer, whatever. But however you choose to do that, 25/7, I wouldn't specifically say that I do this 25/7 because I don't work on it absolutely every day. There are days that I skip, just because I also, oh, funny story. Okay, so I work on LaDDa. This is done on a 16 count. Oh man, what is this done on? This is done on a 16 count honey. Oh, I bet you this is a BestitchMe fabric. And it's called Honey. Anyways, because I work on LaDDa, and I do the loop method, and with 18 count most of the time, I am, especially for over dyes, sometimes not so much DMC, definitely not sulky, but 18 count, I use 2 strands, so I use the loop method. And 20 count, I will use 1 because it's two strands gets too bulky, but 18, I like the look of it. It's not super bulky to me, but I think that 1 strand is just too little. So anyways, this is done on, the model was done on a, I think it was done on a 30 count linen, but 1/1. Okay, I'm doing it 18 count 2/1, which meant that I did not account for the amount of floss that I was going to need, the amount of over dyes. So I'm cooking along, and I'm going along, and one of the colors, I think it is, shoot, I think it's charcoal. Is it charcoal? I don't remember. Anyways, one of the flosses that I was running out of is used a lot in here. And I was getting down that I had like 5 strands left. And I was like, there's no way that these 5 strands are gonna go along. And then I had to smack myself upside the head and go, you were a dork. You did not take into account that you were going to need X amount of floss because you're doing it on a bigger count. And you're doing it 1/1. So not smart. Yeah. That's my story. anyways, I love doing this, and it is so, again, this is very easy to work on. I can see the holes. It is so easy. I sometimes work this in hand, sometimes put it on my Q-snap. It just depends on which section I'm kind of doing and how fast it's going. But this is, I'm working on the inner border now, matching up the border, because this is as big as the middle is, and then there are more side borders to do, and then there's a whole bottom section to do that I believe has a person with an animal in it. Anyways, it's such a fun stitch. I love this, love the fabric it's on, and I really enjoy doing this when I can during my coffee mornings. That, you know, Odin has woke me up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go potty and all the things. Okay, and then the last thing that I have to show you, see, really, honestly, I don't have that much progress. It's sad. Every week, Miss Amy and I from Fiber Arts Amy try to get together and work on garden beauty together. And so that has been, bless you, that has been fun. So let me show you. We actually just stitched yesterday, so I have 2 weeks worth of progress to show you. And it's not much, because there was a point that, well, I still messed up somewhere, and I have not actually gone back to see. I've just worked on a different section because why not? Oof, okay. So let's move back a little. So that's where I am on Garden Beauty. So in this area here where you see this floss down here, I've messed up somewhere in here, so I can't continue here. So I started yesterday, I started again on the side where the urn is and got some more of her sash. I think that this is her sash in. But she's coming along. Love this. And this is done on a color, is this a color in cotton? Yes. This is a 16 count color in cotton pear wood, and this was a 2020 fabric club piece. Really lovely to work on. I really like this. So that is what I have worked on for the last, other than Queen of Peace. And so I had uploaded at the beginning of February the progress for January, but I am going to post a picture here to show you what the end of January's shot looked like, what I had gotten done. So let me post that here. Is she not beautiful? You know, honestly, in my head, I hear this song, Isn't She Lovely? Every time I stitch on her. I love her. I love her. And she is what I work on almost daily. There are a couple of days that I have missed because her and I had a little beef over some stitches that were put into her that she and I agreed were not in the right place. And then during the holidays and stuff, like I couldn't take her on the truck with me, and so there was almost a month between November and December that and January that I really was not able to work on her. And so but she's getting there. She is getting there. So I'm hoping that by the end of March I'm taking her with me, and hope that I will have not as many distractions, sort of. Mr. G's with me, and the little, she's very self-sufficient, and truly she'll probably spend a lot more time on her computer than I like, but we'll probably go to the zoo, and I have a couple of dental appointments, and you know, we have some things to finish up in the state, and so there will be a lot of stitching time, I'm hoping. And then there's also stitching at the hotels. So I'm hoping that I will get a lot of progress done with no interruptions of potty time and, you know, seizures and things that happen here. Or a closet to have to like redo. Ugh. Anyway, okay, and then so let me talk about plans. Well, I've kind of really told you what my plans were for the next couple of weeks. But also Dawn Marie and Anna from DM's Crafty Vortex are doing Fancy Lady February. And I love, if you have not watched Dawn Marie and Anna from DM's Crafty Vortex, you should go watch them. But they have done 2 weeks of Fancy Lady February so far for February. And the Anna is working on one project, and Dawn Marie is doing like a weekly vlog style on a new piece starting on Monday and uploading Saturdays, the progress for the week. And I am loving what she's choosing. So I was only able for one week to do Fancy Lady February, and that was at the very, very beginning of February. And then I've had a drop off. But I was working on Fairy Flora for that time period. And Fairy Flora is actually going to go away, and a new piece is going to come out, because even though I love stitching on her, there's other mirrors in my stash, that my whips, that need to be looked at and stitched on. But I still want to do Fancy Lady February. And so I have always had this chart in mind to do, because I can't think of anything fancier than these ladies. The chart I'm talking about is the 6 Wives of Henry VIII by the Primitive Hair. Is this Primitive Hair? Yes. I love all things Tudor history, English courts, all that, right? Love it. And so when I saw this chart like a couple of years ago, I've had it in my stash for quite some time, I immediately had to pick it up. And I have a frame that I picked almost the same time that I found this chart that these beautiful ladies are going to go on. And I just can't think of more fancy ladies. Like, think of the outfits that they wore back in the day. Not only like how intricate and beautiful the cloth was and the colors, but also depending on your rank and status of the times, what you wore and the colors that you wore, and how fancy your shoes would be, or your headdress would be, or the accessories that you were able to wear, all the things, right? And so I can't think of anything more fancy than these 6 fancy ladies. So this is what I am going to do for Fancy Lady February, for the rest of Fancy Lady February. And I'm going to get a start in, and then probably when I come back in March, you'll see the progress of this. But I think that they're beautiful, and I cannot wait to work on that. So besides Queen of Peace and some of the projects that I will take with me on the road, a couple of samplers, and this one, and probably March's postcard from the Heart, Needle Art by Wendy. Yeah, I think that I've got all of that covered. So I think that is all. I think that's all. I think it's long enough anyways. So I hope you all have a really, really wonderful time. I am looking forward to going to see the little and give my daughter a great big hug, and be able to chit chat with her at night and drink coffee and scroll through, oh well, really it's more cocktails, and scroll through TikTok and laugh together, and all the things that you get to do when you visit your adult children and snuggle with the little. So I'm looking forward to that, and even, you know, the antics of the dogs. So I hope you all have a really great couple of weeks, and I will see you hopefully back in a couple of weeks. And until then, hugs and stitches.